Good news is, the 360 camera's back. Okay, it's fixed, sort of. Bad news, there's still a crack in the lens. Other bad news, my GoPro screen is still completely f***ed. Good news is, I'm getting a replacement. Good news, for the first time in 4 years, I've upgraded my phone. I have the new iPhone 16. Wow. It's been such a long time since I've had a new phone that I kind of forgot that getting a new phone these days is kind of like getting a new camera, which is really exciting because the iPhone has always been one of the most powerful cameras that you can own, in my personal opinion. The cell phone in your pocket is the most important camera that you could possibly own, and not just for the tech that's packed into it, but the way it fits within and around your lifestyle. So I was messing around with it a lot today, and there's two main functions that are sort of new to me with the latest iPhone generation iterations. One is the cinematic mode, which I've played around with other cameras. I think we've had it now for 3 generations, and they just keep improving on it with every iteration. And it used to look really computerized because it's using software to create a sort of a fake bokeh effect, similar to when you use portrait mode. Takes your picture, uses a little bit of LiDAR and some differences within the lenses, and it determines what's in the foreground, the background, and it creates like a little digital crop around it and blurs out the rest. It doesn't always look amazing, and in a lot of circumstances it starts to fall apart, but the circumstances in which it falls apart are becoming less and less common, and in the ways that it falls apart, it becomes less and less obvious. So jumping from an iPhone 12, which is what I had previously, to the now iPhone 16, I feel like it's pretty seamless and pretty impressive. My only gripes is I wish they could get it up to that 60 or 120 frames a second that they have on the video now, which looks fantastic. And that brings me to my next point, which is now it does 4K and 120 frames a second. And the iPhone camera always has such great color representation. I think that's what sets it aside from Android, and that difference has come closer and further depending on the generations of the two competing camera models, iPhone competing cell phone markets. But the reason why this is really cool is because 120, getting that like sort of half slow-mo look, looks really smooth and really cinematic, which is great for any sort of like corporate thing or any type of B-roll that you really want to come off as professional. It's gonna have these nice, steady, slow moving shots. And that does one of two things. One, it kind of makes things a little bit angelic, so it's very beautiful. And two, and kind of most importantly in the context of a phone, is it makes things really, really smooth, because your jitters are slowed down and so they're less obvious, and that makes it just look more like you know, similar to or reminiscent of a dolly shot or something like that. So that was really cool. I actually haven't looked at any of this footage that you're seeing right now. I only got to play with this camera a little bit last night at Yule, but the lighting situation was just horrible. So obviously I wasn't impressed with the camera's performance in that circumstance. Overall, you know, this kind of goes back to what I said, like, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, that even though the changes are incremental, it does make a difference over time. Don't ever get a new phone for the latest iteration, but because these iterations are so incremental and people's chase to get the newest phone every year is sort of dwindling off, it is extra fun to go 5-6 generations up in one foul swoop, because it's the only time that you feel like you're getting these new toys and new technology. To go way back, to bring this full circle, the 360 camera actually has an issue with the battery. The battery that is in it right now has some sort of an anomaly where sometimes it shows it's dead. Like right now, I'm just crossing my fingers that it doesn't die as I'm recording this very video, but I'm gonna get a replacement battery, and hopefully that all brings itself out soon, because I don't usually break equipment that's not me. I'm actually, I wouldn't even say I'm careful, I'm just lucky for whatever reason. But to have two very expensive devices, both the 360 camera and this GoPro, to become damaged and borderline unusable is a pretty big that's a pretty big blow to me and my wallet. So I'm trying to find every little snaky way to replace all this stuff for as little money as possible. I'll just give a little route that I found for people who aren't familiar. So like I said, this GoPro completely shattered. I tried to put a screen protector on it because the glass is literally falling out of the GoPro and it made it unusable. The GoPro works completely fine other than the screen, but obviously this glass is going to start to fall apart. Moisture, water, debris is going to get inside there, and eventually it's going to render the screen useless. I just know where this road is going to go. GoPro, for whatever reason, very famously does not repair their cameras, and I'll tell you a little secret why here in just a second. But you also, you can't really even repair it third party, because the way that GoPros are designed is very specific, and it's very in-house because that's what gives it all the debris, the water enclosures, and these sort of water ratings that you don't see very commonly with consumer electronics. But more importantly, it's just really kind of expensive. There's no real third-party offerings that are going to be able to replace this because GoPro doesn't sell these parts third-party or aftermarket. However, they do have a little bit of a loophole that will explain why they don't repair anything. GoPro offers a $50 a month subscription. It's like this GoPro Plus, comes with some cloud storage, some other little bells and whistles. But the big thing is it comes with camera replacement that will replace your camera up to 2 cameras a year, no questions asked, for a small price of $100. It's a lot, if you talk about the $50 subscription for a year, that $100, so you're looking at a $150 repair. Now, if you have 2 cameras go out, a little bit different, now you can split the cost even more. I was able to get that subscription for a year for $30. So from where I'm sitting, $130 to completely replace the camera, that's about as close as I'm gonna get, because that is a $400 camera. So to go a little bit, almost half, is about as good as I can do, because it's useless. Otherwise, it's just gonna become a useless product. And I've only owned it for a year. So I'm bummed, but I'm trying to look at the bright side. And I tried going through warranty through my credit card. That was a complete dead end. And this was the GoPro subscription. I signed up for it today, and I immediately filed a warranty claim or a replacement claim. They're sending me the box that I need to ship it out with. And so it's all good to go. So it pretty much is like it's a replacement program through a subscription fee. It's kind of a middleman. Weird and doesn't really make sense, but that's how they choose to do business. And if you own a GoPro, that might be useful information to you, especially if it breaks or gets destroyed. It's just not covered under, obviously, loss, but in any way, if the camera breaks, whether it's your fault, manufacturer's fault, it's after 365 days and it's no longer covered under warranty, I highly suggest looking into that subscription fee, especially right now because they're running half off for Christmas. I'm sure they will run half off other times of the year, but watch for that because that is a deal that they do run. Thank you. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk about my camera equipment, and I'll see you tomorrow.